This here is the PvP runes character I've been running through the game with and making Beggars Run videos about. I'm about to delete this character and start again, and we're going to make Season 2. Now you may be wondering why I'm doing this. It's not like I made that many videos anyway, and this character had about 9 hours worth of content that was waiting to be uploaded. Well, to put it simply, I really like the idea behind this run, and I want it to be more special than it just being stream highlights. So with that being said, we're going to say goodbye to this character, and we're going to start anew, and we're going to put a little bit more effort into this one. Now, for those who weren't privy to the old rules of the Beggars Run, it's a PvP runes only character with a couple extra twists. What we did in Season 1 is that I kept the level at 25 max, and we only got items from Limgrave. Also, we made it to where if we won an invasion, then we could go pick up an item in the overworld, or we could farm something from an enemy. Craftable items and items you can buy from vendors are exempt from this rule, but everything else you need to win an invasion to get. This time around, of course, we're carrying over the idea of only spending PvP runes and only being able to get those items after we've won an invasion. However, this character will be going up to meta level 125, and we're not going to have the limitation of only getting things in Limgrave. Now, with that being said, I'm also going to do it a little bit different this time. We're going to do a certain amount of invasions in an episode, and then at the end of the episode, we will go collect the items in accordance with how many invasions we won. This way, we spend a little bit of time kind of stuck at what we have, and then we're able to level up at the end of the video. Also, if you ever collect runes that are from the PvE, essentially you just need to find a way to get rid of them, whether that's throwing yourself off a cliff, or say you get 2,000 runes and you don't want to get rid of the 5,000 that are from PvP, you'll go and buy items and then throw those away until you're back at about the amount of PvP runes you were at. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and get Season 2 started proper, why don't we? So for this character, we're actually going to start as Hero rather than Vagabond. The reason why is because Hero is actually optimal for the Arcane character I'm going to go for. The stats are going to look a little something like this once we're done with the leveling up process, and it is going to be about 6 stats more effective than Vagabond is. So we're going to be speedrunning some of the basic things you need to get Vare to the point where he'll give you the bloody finger. We're going to exhaust his dialogue at the first step, and then we're going to bum rush Stormvale Castle. So we're going to kill Margit after a couple failed attempts. We're going to then speak to Nefeli Lu, making sure that we're able to start her quest and eventually get those ancient dragon smithing stones from completing it, and then we're going to kill Godric with her assistance as well. We're going to find Vare in Liurnia now, after doing a little bit of talking at the Round Table Hold. He will give us 3 of the non-reusable Bloody Fingers, and we need to use 3 to progress his quest, but we're going to use all 5 and try to store up as many wins and runes as possible. Now, while it's not overly important, the goal is to get at least 1,000, that way we're able to buy the necklace from Boggart, because not only does he sell boiled crab, which is extremely important, he will eventually give us Braggart's Roar, which is a stupendously good support Ash of War. So now we start our first 5 invasions, and what we really need more than anything is for all 5 of these to be PvEers that don't really know what they're doing, and hopefully are overleveled at the same time. Other words, we need to get lucky. Now, the only thing we have going for us right now is trying to be kind and respectful, hopefully lowering their guard, and light rolling. Our axe is one of the worst weapons in the entire game, so we are really relying on our opponents not being very good to find any success. So at first they want to do a little bit of dueling right here, which is respectable, but after I give them a couple hits, I decide that I want to annoy the Phantom and try and get the runes that he has. Now, he starts shooting at me, everybody's a mage until proven otherwise, and he's also lagging some. However, he seems to be about as new of a player as the other guy, which does play to our advantage quite substantially. Luckily for us, he is panic rolling, which makes roll catching with the axe much easier. Considering this axe has almost no roll catch capabilities from somebody that is paying attention to what you're doing, this is really just about the only way we're going to get any of our kills. So he makes a pretty bad mistake right there, lets us guard break him, and we're going to get about 300 runes from him. But then I make a pretty bad mistake and let myself get bled out. So while we do actually have a pretty good amount of runes for our first invasion, we don't get to store up any uses to try and get new items. For our second invasion, it would appear that once again we've gotten more PvEers, which is good news in one sense because it means we have a good chance of winning and getting some runes, but on the negative, we may not end up getting too much. Now, this host here is just walking at me with his shield up, which is generally not too great of an idea for PvEers because PvEers are infamous for not running too much stamina, so a single hit from my axe is breaking his stance. However, he seems to have taken to heart that the guard counter is overpowered, because against PvE it kind of is in certain situations, but this is PvE, buddy, and that does not work too well. Now his teammate here, he's doing a little bit of spamming the R1, but that's okay by me, and we are able to punish him trying to go for the Estus, and we do get an unfortunate backstab right there. However, he's not healed yet, and so we can keep on the pressure, and there we go, we're able to get him out of there. Now from here, the host more or less just kind of gives up, and we are able to get another set of good runes. And this is technically our first win, so we're able to get an item at the end of this video. While 511 runes isn't too much to talk about, it is halfway to our current goal. So it seems like luck is in our favor because our third invasion appears to be against more PvEers, which like I said before, is our best chance of getting runes at all. Now the Phantom here appears to be pretty trigger happy with Unsheath, which is understandable for a PvEer because it does a lot of damage, but at the same time it makes avoiding it very easy on our part, since he's not mixing it up. We have a Godric soldier that's right here next to us, which they were previously killing, but they're more focused on me now. The host has the Stormhawk sword right there, very interesting and pretty dangerous, but we are able to get the Phantom out of there thanks to that Godric soldier. Now, the host probably should have been going for Spinning Slash a little bit more and a little bit quicker, but once again, we're able to stay on top of them, the Godric soldier putting in a lot of work, and we're able to get another victory and a couple extra runes. So the fourth invasion shapes up to be the toughest yet, and it's mostly got to do with the copious amounts of lag that both of them have. They're both walking at me with their shields up, which is normally a very counterable tactic. However, I don't have a very good way of doing damage through the shield or getting their shield broken. While I can kind of rely on them being too clumsy with their stamina management, it's just not consistent enough for me to be able to consistently get a guard break counter since they're both walking at me and pressing R1 as soon as they get close. The lag is extremely powerful with these guys, and I start taking phantom hits and actual damage just at random intervals from very far away. Considering that I have only one heal to my name, I have to be very careful when I choose to go for it. I have to try and just keep rolling over and over and abusing my light roll to make any progress in this invasion. Thankfully, they're willing to come to us, being the aggressor, which allows us to go for pretty easy turn and burns. If they were running away and being super passive with this connection, I might not ever be able to beat them with as little equipment that we have right now. About halfway through the invasion is when I finally decide to use my first and only Crimson tier. I went about a minute only at half HP, but considering I have so little healing to work with, I'm trying to just be as defensively sound as possible. I say that and then I instantly go back down to about the amount of HP I had, because I made a pretty bad play and got hit by 3 R1s. Now I'm getting hit from a distance because of latency, or should I say lag, and things are not looking good now. He roll catches me there, and the Storm Stomp is especially bad because it is coming out way after he shows the animation, as you can see right there. Meaning that something as powerful as Storm Stomp, it could lag out like that, and then I end up getting hit twice or 3 times by the Phantom. I go for a kick right there, hoping to get that juicy guard break, and would you know it, he decides to R1 the moment I go for it. This giant over here in the distance is probably my only saving grace by this point, because I have no healing left, and these guys are hot on my trail. So we just need to hope that they're going to be too overconfident and run right into this powerful enemy. And believe it or not, they are still hot on my trail, despite the fact that this thing's clearly angry now. They completely ignore it, but they pay dearly for this. With him being so little, this is the only chance I have to go for this roll catch that saves me the invasion. Now granted, I'm just kind of walking around here. I really should be rolling to try and keep from getting lag hit right here and losing the invasion. But we do get lucky, and that does not happen. Now things are very much in our favor. This guy is having to avoid goats now, along with a giant, and he's fat rolling. Needless to say, his days are numbered as long as I don't do something stupid and get hit by the giant, for example. He starts lagging all over the place trying to find some sort of advantage, but it is not enough. We're going to run in, and we're going to get that juicy R1, and we're going to put ourselves closer to that 1,000 runes we need. However, we only have one more bloody finger, so if we don't hit it with this upcoming invasion, then we may need to reset. We invade here in Stormvale for our 5th one, and would you look at that? That there is a rune pinata. A phantom that is over-leveled is a rune pinata, and for a PvP rune-only character like this, they are both the most difficult thing you can fight and your biggest saving grace. If we manage to kill this guy, there's no telling how many runes we might muster, but it's also no small guess to say that he probably 1 or 2 shots us. So if he manages to be any amount of sound PvP-wise, we may never be able to kill him. There's no doubt that he has fully upgraded flasks and has very powerful weaponry. As you can see, he's using the sword that's able to Scarlet Rot you. So if he manages to Phantom hit me enough times, I have zero way of getting rid of Scarlet Rot. So that is an instant GG. He's also throwing Rock Sling at us. It's a very avoidable attack when you know it's coming. However, when you're getting ganked, it can be quite difficult to deal with sometimes. He's at very low HP and goes for the wrong flash right here, but unfortunately I don't manage to kill him in time, and so he's able to get back up to full HP. This exile in the back has put in a lot of work, damaging the host and the phantom quite heavily. The phantom here goes for his physic, giving him infinite FP for 10 seconds, and what he decides to do with it is go for 900 rock slings, which gets him absolutely nothing other than killing that one exile. Needless to say, I am very fortunate in this situation that he decided to waste such a powerful physic on something like rock sling in comparison to something like Azure Comet or something of the similar. The host and the phantom seem a little bit slow to want to come back down here after me. However, the phantom eventually takes the plunge, and he's going for his Moonblade over and over. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that, because that is extremely dodgeable. He's probably at very low FP as of this point, considering how many times he used it in a row, and we can leverage this. He's going to be way less dangerous if we can just roll catch him a couple times. The host is desperately trying to save him right now, but we do get the one that counts. Now the big question is what is that pinata holding? Let's see it. Oh my god. That is lucky. Well, with that being said, we make it through our 5 invasions, and our final total comes to 8,558 runes. That is nice. Before I collect the things we have worked for today, which is 4 items, we're going to go ahead and do a couple quests in Liurnia. So doing Raya and Bogart's quest is going to make it to where I can get Boiled Crab and Braggart's Roar, like I explained earlier, which is extremely important. Then we're going to go back to Vare, and we're going to have him give us the cloth. We're going to drench it in blood at the starting area in the game, because we also need to get the Stormhawk King from there, so we can do the rest of Nefeli Lu's quest, which I'm not doing as of this moment, but it's good to have it for the future. It took me a couple attempts to kill the Grafted Scion, since I didn't pick up any new items yet, but after about 3 attempts, I was able to finally put him away. Once we've killed it and gotten what we needed to from the Anticipation Chapel, I go ahead and spend the runes that the Grafted Scion gave me at Kale and throw away what I bought. Now we're finally able to go back to Vare and get the Bloody Finger, and also the teleporting device which will allow us to go to Mogwit's Palace, though I won't be doing that quite yet. The first thing we're going to get with our wins today is going to be the Iron Whetstone Blade. Obviously, this is needed for Ashes of War to be placed on weapons, so it's kind of important that we get it, needless to say. Next, we're going to be killing Negirus for the Reduvia. A lot of people use the Reduvia for the wrong reasons. While yes, its Ash of War is good, what it is more than powerful is annoying. The super powerful part of its moveset is its R2. The daggers that have the slashing R2 have one of the most powerful, unreactable R2s in the game, and its follow-up R2 is very close to being a true combo, making it for a very nasty, unreactable, committal choice that you have to make, whether it be to stay in and accidentally get hit by a second R2, or to roll out and get roll caught. First thing I'm going to spend my runes for is leveling up enough to be able to use the Reduvia, and then I put an extra stat into Vigor. Then I'm going to use the rest of my remaining runes to buy the crafting book and a cracked pot from Kale. This will make it to where I have one measly rune left, which essentially I'm going to toss away with whatever PvE runes I get for the next minute. So the third and fourth thing I decide to get for today are going to be related to the physic. So we're going to go ahead and pick up the bottle itself, which is going to be at the Third Church of Marika, and then we're going to go kill the Erdtree avatar in the Weeping Peninsula that has the one that gives us the HP regeneration. Being able to regenerate your HP passively at these levels for 7 HP per tick makes you so hard to kill that it is almost a necessity at these lower levels. Well, with that being said, this is what our stats are looking like at this point for the character, and this is the small amount of equipment we have. Even though this is little, we actually had a very lucky day, so I hope you guys appreciate where this series is going now, and I'm excited to see what we're able to put together before the DLC comes out. With that being said, I hope all of you have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.